Here's the truth. Many of you could do less and get better results. I'm telling you the truth. Watch this.
Our next caller is Johan from Germany.
Johan, what is happening, my friend?
What's going down?
I love those glasses, by the way.
I think
That's awesome.
Are you got the Juve light going right now?
What is that?
Those are the dorky blue light blockers, which you guys always make fun of.
Yeah. Because it's probably
Well, don't fall asleep on us right here, okay?
All right, go ahead and ask your question, my friend. We'll help you out.
Probably try to be quick. So first of all, I really want to say, well, thank you, as everyone says, for all the amazing information you put around fitness.
Thank you.
Health, fatherhood, life, like everything. And also a massive thank you to everyone on your team that normally is behind the scenes. So not just Doug and Andrew, but also everyone whose names I don't know. And then most importantly, I want to thank you for the personal impact you had on me, or for the impact you had on me personally, by introducing me to both Jason Phillips and MCI, as well as Stephen Cabral and his IHP program, which I'm both running at the moment, which are amazing and have massively leveled up my coaching abilities and skills.
Hell yeah.
But
That's rad.
yeah. So first of all, lots of stuff to be grateful for. And now as far as my question goes, which is around implementing deload weeks in your programs, because despite listening to like every single episode for the last 3 years and hearing those phrases like, do the least amount of work to list the most amount of change, Adam, or to what's the other one? That like there's a difference between what your body can tolerate and what's optimal cell. I still can't get really over the fact that I just want to go all in every workout and really overdo intensity most of the time. So when I ran the RGB bundle, I didn't really make any progress when I was doing the low rep phase in aesthetic compared to when I was running anabolic in the beginning in terms of my strength levels. And when you then recently introduced the anabolic advanced, I was like, oh, deload week sounds like that might actually be the solution for me. So my question is, how would you schedule and then also design deload weeks in your programs in terms of reps, sets, weights, exercises compared to the normal program in order to allow for the supercompensation to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool question.
Very good question.
Yeah, good question.
So I want to say this to you and also to anyone else that's listening. Most people get the comments we often get on our programs, in all the programs, especially the core ones, right? MAPS Anabolic, MAPS Performance, and MAPS Aesthetic. A lot of people say, MAPS Anabolic, I got such great results. And then we'll hear sometimes people say, with Aesthetic, I felt overtrained or burned out. Aesthetic is very high volume. And for a lot of people, it's going to be too much volume. This is a bodybuilder type routine. Anabolic is appropriate for probably 85% of the people watching and listening, meaning it's not that you can't handle more. It's just it's appropriate. It's going to give you the best types of results. Okay, so let's get into deload weeks for a second. Deload weeks are phenomenal, but it's not going to solve the problem of consistently doing too much. It's like a Band-Aid, and it can be a good Band-Aid, and it will cause your body to start progressing again, but it's not going to fix the problem, which is when you're training, you may be just applying too much too often. So I'll answer your question first, but then I'll tell you what I think you should, what else you should probably do. With deload weeks, with our programs, you're probably going to do great doing one deload week after every single phase. So after phase 1, you do 1 week of a deload week. After phase 2, you do another deload week. After phase 3, you do another deload week before you move to the next program. What does a deload week look like? This will make it easy for most people. 50%.
No.
50% volume, 50% intensity, 50% frequency. All 3 of those, not 1, not 2, but all of them. So look at your total volume, total frequency, total intensity, cut everything in half. So if you're working out 3 days a week or 4 days a week, you're going to work out 1 or 2 days that week. If you're doing 10 sets for a body part, you're doing 5 sets for the body part. If you're lifting 50 pounds for 10 reps, you're going to lift 25 pounds for 10 reps. So it's 50, 50, 50. That's what a deload week looks like. It's not a workout at all. You're basically going to the gym and moving your body through range, full ranges of motion, doing some exercises, and really you're facilitating recovery. You're not trying to do anything other than facilitate recovery. Now, for you, what I'm also going to recommend is this. When you follow a program like Aesthetic, which is, again, very high volume type program, and this is for anybody listening, you're probably going to get great results if you just cut the volume down by a third. So however many sets we recommend, do
one less.
Yeah, do one less. If it's 3 sets, do 2. If it's 4 sets, do 2 or 3 type of deal. So look at your total sets, cut them down by a third. Boom. The program is probably going to be appropriate now for you. So you can follow any of our programs. If you're finding that you're overtraining often on our more advanced type programs or high volume type programs, we'll then cut everything down by a third. You still follow the same programming. Everything's the same. You're going to feel amazing. Now you're following MAPS Anabolic Advanced. I probably need to say this to someone like you. In the program, there's an optional third exercise or an optional third set to failure or whatever. Don't do the optional third set or third whatever. In fact, we actually got in a debate here in the studio over whether or not I should even add it, because we know people end up doing the max that we put in there. The vast majority of people were better off not doing the optional extra. So do the with how it's laid out, and don't do the optional with that, and then you'll probably get phenomenal results with that program.
So a couple things to add. One, just so you know, that challenge maybe never ends. Okay. We're sitting here on this podcast talking about it. We still have this challenge ourselves. So when you like to work out and you enjoy lifting weights, and you've seen great progress in the time that you're doing it, we tend to do that ourselves. Like, we're always skirting those lines. And so it'll be a probably lifelong challenge of always kind of like motivating yourself to push and then learning how to pull back when you need to. Sal gave you some really basic recommendations on the 50%. I think that's really cut and dry, and you could pretty much apply that formula to any type of a workout, and that's a perfect deload week. I like to take a deload week and make my client and individualize it. Meaning, if I was training you and you were complaining about certain things, like my hips are my left hip is nagging me all the time right after a phase 1 workout or that, or I'm really stiff here, or I would do like a week of actually like since you have all the RGB bundle, like performance, the mobility days. 1 week of like just mobility work would be phenomenal and specific to the areas that you need to be addressing. Like I just threw out the hip thing. I have no idea if that's an issue for you or not, but it's common, right? They squat heavy, deadlifting heavy, all of a sudden they start to notice hip stuff going on. And so instead of just following anabolic by 50% I would say, hey, this week we're doing all mobility work, and we're going to focus on 90-90s and your combat stretch and lizard with rotation and some scorpions. And like, I'm going to pick a handful of mobility moves, and you're basically going to do that all week long. Maybe I let you sprinkle a little bit of like focus session work in there, some cable work for your arms or something like that maybe you don't have any issues in your upper body. It's just kind of lower body stress or low back type stuff. So maybe I let you do some shoulder work and some bis and tris and do that type of work on cable machines for that week, and then all mobility. Like that could be a deload week for you. And learning to tailor it to the area, and no one knows better than you, right? Unless you had a coach or a trainer, like what you neglect, like that you should probably do more of. And I'm just going to guess that it's probably mobility recovery type, active recovery stuff, since that's typically what most people neglect. And so I would build a week of deload around that stuff.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I was going to reiterate the same kind of stuff in terms of like really specifically targeting things that have been talking to you within your program. Like you'll notice like certain tightness in your shoulders, your hips, and addressing that in the deload week is the best time to do that. Adding in unilateral training is a really good way to address that as well. So that way you can also reduce down the load and really like individualize and specifically work on one side versus the other to make sure that they're both functioning properly. So, just being a little more specific with it, but yes, like cutting that overall volume and that intensity down.
What programs do you own?
Currently RGB, and then I also got Powerlift and Split, although I haven't started those yet because I didn't feel ready for them in terms of the intensity.
I think.
And I also got Prime and Prime Pro.
Oh, okay, good. You do have Prime Pro. So Prime Pro, another one that would be worth, maybe we'll throw your way, is Maps 15.
Dude, if you did a cycle of Maps 15, I bet you.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you would love it. Do the 20-minute version.
Yeah.
Your body would probably do well.
Yeah, do the advanced version, and I bet you would.
Yeah,
I bet your strength would go through the roof on that.
I like that.
Oh, that would absolutely be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I love working out, so doing that every day and just reducing the time would be phenomenal. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
You got it, man.
Yeah, we'll send that over to you. And you know what? If you find yourself wanting to do more or spend more time in the gym or the workout, do it mobility.
That's it.
So follow Maps 15 as it's laid out for the 20-minute version or the advanced version. And then if you find yourself wanting to do more or be in the gym longer, just completely direct that all to mobility stuff from Prime Pro or from Performance Mobility.
Yeah, I mean, with the priming up front that I normally do, I also anyway I spend more time anyway. So
Okay, cool.
Oh, good.
Good.
Johan, thanks for calling in, man.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing for any new listeners that might be listening?
Yeah.
Because recently you mentioned that in the beginning people usually just go for the single topic episodes or skip the intros and just watch or listen to the questions, which I also did, but the more I listen to you, the better you get. Like, the more I really appreciate the intros, because you always not just share entertaining stuff, but also some golden nuggets for coaches like me or just around life. So yeah, really appreciate it, and would definitely recommend to stick into the podcast and making sure you keep listening.
Thank you, Johan. It's a great compliment. I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thanks,
Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
You got it. Yeah, it's so funny. You could pretty much divide most people who work out into two categories.
Yeah,
totally.
I always do too little, and I always end up doing too much.
Overdo it. Whoops.
Yeah.
And it's challenging. You're absolutely right. You said we still do. I mean,
We all do.
My struggle.
It's it's also one. I mean, Doug and I were the other day. We were talking afterwards, and I was having this actual same conversation with Katrina because she's just like, "Man, you have this ability to like switch and get in shape so quick and fast." I'm like, that is years and years and years of not doing it well and right, and really honing in on like knowing how to apply just the right amount of intensity and to change
your body at a new level.
Yeah, and honestly, it's really crazy. It's very little. That's why I love hearing him repeat what we talk about with the doing as little as possible, elicit the most change, and then what your body can tolerate is different than what's optimal for it, because that is the game in this. The game is learning where, and we're all unique and different, is what's the least amount I can do inside the gym and with my nutrition to elicit more change, and I just want to tweak that every week just a tiny bit. And we're so tempted because we get the hype and the motivation, and it's like, I'm making change now. I'm going to do this now. And they're like, go all in.
We're so driven by momentum. We're such momentum-driven creatures. And so like to be all in is sort of like a natural instinct. You're either all in or you're all out.
Well, and I think it's because, and I mean, correct me if you guys disagree with this, is that most things in life do reward you for that extra effort and work. Right. The old saying of like, you get what you put in, right?
Yeah.
The attitude of like, if I work extra hard at work, I typically get paid more or we make more money. Like if I work hard at my relationship, I normally see the fruits of that. But this isn't like that. It's rare. It's different. It's unique. And because of
you're
that,
limited by your body's ability to adapt.
Yes.
That's it.
It's not like everything else where more is better, harder, or pushing or doing. It's like
the irony is, if
spot.
it was true, if our bodies had this unlimited ability to recover and adapt, this would be easy.
Yeah,
I would just tell people, well, here's what you
more
do.
and more and more and
perpetual
more
progress.
Yeah, you'll
Always easy.
crush. You'll crush. Here's a 7-hour workout, and you're going to get incredible results. It doesn't work that way.